Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's practice is all about strength and control, looking to intensify a movement pattern once you've found it. As always, play when you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice coming into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Make your way down to the mat with enough room to fully extend the legs behind you. Stack the hands directly underneath the shoulders and the knees directly behind the hips. You're going to look for a long line through the neck and the spine and assume a belly up position. We're going to start to lift the left arm off the mat, bending the elbow in a rowing-like motion, tapping elbow to sky, and then changing sides. Your focus is to keep as level through the trunk as you can, with particular focus on the shoulder area, trying not to dip lower on one side of the body as the one arm lifts off the mat and rows towards the ceiling. We're going to end in the row on the left and hold it. Body weight dispersed on your 3 points of contact on the mat. Pull that belly button into center. Then find your way from here to a tall kneel, actively pressing into the tops of your feet. We're coming into a little lean and we're going to start with the hands on the tops of our thighs. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, lean off the center line, floating the arms up in line with your shoulders, and then back to your start position. Hold the next lean, and then start to squeeze the arms crisscross fashion across the midline, alternating the top hand every time. Float back to your 4-point kneel to find that rowing motion through the arms. Set up your frame, and when you're ready, start to lift one hand off the mat, thinking elbow to sky. We're going to end right arm in a row and hold. Freeze break. Bleed your way from here to your tall kneel for your lean and float. Five more to go. Hold the next one. Find your midline crisscross pattern. Find your way from here either into a 4-point kneel to repeat the rowing motion from there, or execute from a strong plank line. Maybe taking your feet a little bit wider if you need to. Start to find your rowing pattern. Keep as stable as you can through the trunk, this time with particular attention to the pelvis. End rowing left, hold. Then find your way into a tall kneel, tucking your toes under this time if you can. Arms are going to start alongside the body, palms looking away from you. We're going to repeat that float, but this time the arms are going to be traveling behind us, smaller range of motion. So as you lean, you're going to reach back and then float back to your start position. Hold the next one, then crisscross squeeze towards the midline. Find your way back to your plank line to repeat your rowing motion. Keeping as stable as you can through the trunk, maybe taking your foot stance a little bit wider than you usually would in your plank line. Keeping your abs braced and engaged. We're going to freeze frame right. Find your way back into your tall kneel, keeping the toes tucked under. We're going to find that lean and draw those hands back. And then we're going to find that crisscross pattern. If you find you're grazing your heels, you can relax the tops of your feet to the mat. Then find your way back to a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Long line through the neck and the spine, abs engaged, stable through the trunk as you slide the left leg behind you. We're going to lift the leg up to hip height and tap back down without popping and rotating through the left hip. Stabilizing through your 3 points of contact. End in the lift, hold it. And your way back to a tall kneel, actively pressing into the tops of your feet. Arms relaxed at your side. You're going to find your lean, you're going to hold it and trace a forward circle before coming back to your start position. Rinse and repeat, pausing in the lean before you circle. And if circling is not possible with big arms, just find a circular shrug instead of working with sweeping arms. Last one. Find your way back to 4-point kneeling. Maybe taking your hands a little bit wider. Step your legs back into your plank line. On your tabletop line, extend the right leg. And when you're ready, start to tap out. Watch that you're not popping and rotating on the right hip. Keep that long line through the neck and the spine. Belly button pulled in, abs engaged. Don't float the leg higher than hip height. End in the lift, hold it. Paint your way back to your tall kneel. Finding your lean with your circular motion through the arms. Keeping that long stretchy line through the thighs, through the belly as you circle the arms. We're coming back into that single leg lift. This time we're going to try to execute from a plank. If that's not working, repeat from 4-point kneel. Take your hands maybe a little bit wider than your legs. When you're ready, start to float the left leg up to hip height, then tap back up 10 times. End in the lift. Then release back to a tall kneel. Maybe tucking your toes under this time. We're going to find our lean, and this time a backward circle. Holding the lean as we trace that release through the arms and the shoulders, or just the shoulders if a sweeping arm is not happening for you. Ease your way back to your plank line to repeat your single leg lift on the right. Hold. Lead your way to your high kneel, tucking your toes under if you can. Camel leaning for the last time with a backward circular stroke through the arms. Last one. Find your way from here back into 4-point kneeling. Stabilize through the neck and the entire trunk. Slide the left leg behind you. And then use the tip of your toe to trace a quarter circle out to the side of the room and back 10 times. End out to the side and drop down onto the right forearm. You're going to look for a little lift and tap motion on your extended leg. End in the lift and start to trace a circle in one direction. Then trace in the opposite direction. Find your way from here onto the side of the body, coming into a high clam setup, stacking the legs one on top of each other, not collapsing on that bottom arm, out through the shoulder, rib cage up nice and high, top hand. We're going to press and add resistance on the top thigh. As the knee opens, you press and resist, and then close your clam 10 times. End open, press and resist, hold. Find your way from here back into 4-point kneeling to repeat on the second side. Setting up your tabletop 9. We're going to slide the right leg behind and we're going to trace out to the side of the room and back 10 times. End out to the side of the room and drop down onto the left forearm. Start to find a little lift and lowering pattern on your extended leg. End in a lift and begin to circle out. Find your way into high clam line on the second side of the body, strong through the bottom shoulder, rib cage up nice and high, top hand, providing resistance on the outside of your opening and closing thigh. Last one. Hold it. From here, you're going to flip over onto the back. You're going to bend your knees. You're going to ground your feet. Feet and knees in parallel. Arms, you're going to extend overhead. Palms looking towards your knees. We're going to find a tiny echo of a tilted imprint. So you're thinking hollow belly and a roundness to your back, starting to fill that gap beneath your lower back. You're going to bend at the elbow to tap the floor and then raise back to your start position, trying to keep the shoulder blades connected to the mat throughout. We're going to end in the bend, hold it, press with your elbows into the mat. Then draw your legs into a tabletop position, looking for more hollowness through the belly, more roundedness through the back, and start to find that reaching and that pressing motion through the elbows. End in the press, keep pressing. Find your way back into a bridge setup. Articulate up into your bridge. Lock the height of your bridge in, relax your chin towards your chest, fire through your glutes, quads, and hamstrings, and begin to find that reaching and that pressing motion through the elbows. End in the press, hold it. Bleed that down. Give yourself a recovery breath or two. We are going to find our way from here into a modified single leg stretch, and we are going to tuck the hands behind our head, fashioning ourselves a little basket. We're going to begin in neutral. Take a big breath in, find your tilt and your imprint, and use it to pull the legs into a tabletop position. Add a chest lift, lock that height in, keep your head heavy in your hands, and start to stretch and reach on one leg, and then switch sides. Keeping your scoop once you've found it. Find your way back down to the mat, take recovery, and slip your hands to rest in that hollow behind your neck. Take a little passive stretch through the trunk and look for lateral expansion through the ribs as you breathe. Ready to play? Slip the hands behind your head, find your tilt and your imprint, and draw the legs into table. Add a chest lift, lock it in. Now extend and bend the legs together, coming into a double leg stretch. Lead your way back down to the mat, take recovery, rest your hands in that hollow behind your neck. Taking a little passive stretch through the elbow points and the sides of your trunk. Slip your hands around the back of your head, big breath in, find your tilt and your imprint, pull the legs into table and then extend them to 90. Add a chest lift, and then start to find a small scissoring pattern, dropping one leg and then switching. If you're feeling strong, give me a wider range. Intensifying as you feel stronger. Lead your way back down to the mat for recovery and rest your hands in the hollow behind your neck. Slip your hands around the back of your head. Tilt and imprint. Draw your legs into table and then float them to 90. Add a chest lift, lock it in. Double straight leg stretch as you drop both legs. Let's do a halfway drop and then slowly back. Intensifying if you need to drop the legs all the way shy of the floor. Last one. Find your way back to the mat for recovery. Resting the hands in that hollow. Reaching through your elbow points. Coming into a crisscross pattern. Big breath in, tilt and imprint, draw your legs to table, add a chest lift. Extend one leg, rotate towards your incoming knee, and then switch sides. Lead back down to the mat, and then roll over onto your side, giving yourself a slight banana-like frame on the mat. We're going to keep the hands tucked behind the head, and we're going to try to come into a banana lift, pressing off our bottom elbow, almost rolling backwards on the bottom hip. Hold. Hold. As you relax back down, start to bend the bottom leg, then bend the top leg, finding your way into a mermaid seat, almost nestling the back knee in the instep of your lead leg. Take a moment just to find your frame, ground both bum bones. We are going to work towards the leg that is tucked closest to our bottom. You're going to tuck the hands behind your head, and we are going to take a little side crunch towards that leg and back. And in the crunch, hold it, reaching one elbow for the sky. Then focusing on your elbow that is reaching for the sky. Arc and frame with that arm. Stay or intensify by reaching for that framed wrist and give it a little tug, holding. Sit up nice and tall, sweep your legs towards the open end of your mat, find your way onto your back, coming into our arm rowing motion. We're in a bridge-like setup, arms floated overhead, shoulders heavy into the mat, palms looking towards our knees. Begin to bend and press, and then reach for 10. End in the press, hold it. Draw your legs into table, looking to hollow out your belly and round your back. And then when you're ready, start to play with that reach and that bend and press. End in the press, hold it. Relax the soles of your feet to the mat. Take a recovery breath. When you're ready, articulate up into a bridge. Lock that height in, activate your legs to support the line, and begin to reach and bend through the arms when you're ready. End in the bend, hold it. Lean back down. Tuck your hands behind your head. Coming into a single leg stretch. When you're ready, find your tilt and your imprint. Draw your legs into table. Add a chest lift, lock that height in, and start to extend one side and bend the other, keeping your scoop. Lead your way back down to the mat. Relax your hands in that hollow. Stretch through your elbow points, stretch through the sides of your ribs. Tuck your hands around your head. Tilt and imprint. Draw your legs into table. Add a chest lift. Extend and bend the legs in unison. Find your way back down to the mat, slipping your hands into that hollow. Breathe. Slip your hands around the back of your head. Find your tilt and imprint, draw the legs into table, and then extend them to 90. Add a chest lift, lock that in, and start to find your scissor pattern. Maybe it's small, maybe you're intensifying and making your range of motion wider. Lead your way back down to the mat, resting in that hollow. Slip your hands around the back of your head. Big breath in, tilt and imprint. Draw your legs to table, extend them to 90. Scoop up into your chest lift, lock it in, double leg drop. Intensifying by adding or increasing your range of motion as the belly and the back strengthen. Lead your way back down to recovery. Ready to play with the crisscross pattern? Slip your hands behind your head, big breath in, tilt and imprint, draw the legs into table. Add a chest lift. Extend one leg, rotate towards your incoming knee, and start to find a crisscross pattern. Lean back down to the mat. Roll onto your side, setting up an acute banana frame. So bum is reaching to the back of your mat, bottom elbow is in front of your shoulder line, feet are in front of your hip line. You're going to press up your bottom elbow, you're going to add a double leg lift, and you're going to hold almost as somebody had thrown a ball into your belly and you've gone oof on your side around that ball. Hold. Hold. Find your way from here into your mermaid frame. Bending both legs, tucking the knee of the back leg into the instep of the front leg, setting up your frame. Then tucking the hands behind your head and crunching towards the back leg. End in the crunch, hold it. Reach one elbow for the sky. Then take your reaching top elbow and arc and frame with that arm reaching. Intensify by reaching for that wrist. Give it a little grab, hold. Lead your way from here to a tall start seat at the top end of your mat. Let's do feet hip-width distance apart, actively braced. Start a stretch through the line of your legs. Intensify by stretching the line of your spine and making sure your shoulders are stacking over your knees. Then intensify by extending the arms, dropping fingers to floor. We're going to lift to shoulder height and tap back. Keep stretching through the legs, the spine, and the arms. We're going to end fingers to floor. We're going to sweep the hands behind us, finding an L lean off the center line, staying or intensifying by bending the knees and pressing up into a tabletop. Staying or intensifying by extending the right leg with front dipping lower on the right hip. Then lift your leg up and tap back down. We're only lifting to about knee height, maybe just a little bit higher than your stabilizing knee. Hold your next lift. Bend both knees. Return to your tall start seat for a working spine stretch. Sit up nice and tall, active brace into the feet. Big breath in to float the hands overhead. Exhale to round out in a cat stretch. Then start to release the contraction in your belly as you slide your fingertips forward. Give me a lift off, frame your ears and stretch the entire line of your spine. Lock that stretch in and begin to play with the left arm, opening it out to the side and squeezing back. Keeping the rest of your frame locked in position. Now do right. Retrace your path back through your spine stretch. Open up your feet mat width distance apart. Finding a straddle lift, either just leaning both hands off center to the left or intensifying by lifting your hips off the mat, maybe knife edging your feet and holding. Then let's do one to the other side. Maybe you're just leaning right and that's good. Maybe you're intensifying by lifting and holding. Lead your way back down. Bring the two legs together. Squeeze them actively along the midline and place the hands on the tops of your thighs. Big breath in. On an exhale, you're going to fold forward to slide your hands as far as they will go. Holding. Then relax the left hand to the mat alongside your leg and reach across the midline with the right hand to grab from the outside of your foot or your ankle or your thigh. Hold. Bleed back up. Take a big breath in. Exhale to slide and fold. Hold. Relax your right arm to the floor and reach across the midline to grab the outside of your left foot, leg, or thigh. Hold. Inhale to sit up nice and tall and open up your legs, hip width distance apart. Find your tall staff seat and begin to lift and lower your arms for 10. Then sweep your hands to the mat. Find your L-knee or bleed up into a tabletop line. Stay or stabilize through the pelvis and extend the left leg. Begin to lift and lower your extended limb. And in the lift, hold it. Bleed your way back down to the mat. We're finding our way into our working spine stretch. Big breath in, float the hands overhead. Exhale to round out in cat stretch, finding that contraction in your belly. Start to release the contraction as you slide the fingers forward, giving me lift off, framing your ears, holding, stretching spine, arms, legs. Then start to find the opening pattern on the left for 5. And then repeat right, locking the rest of your spine stretching. Then retrace your path back through your spine stretch. Open up the legs a little bit wider. You're going to find your straddle lean or lift and hold. And then repeat to the second side. Leaning or leaning and lifting. Find your way back to a narrow staff seat, squeezing your legs together along the midline. Place your hands on the tops of your thighs. Big breath in, slide forward, hold. Relax your right arm alongside the body. Reach across the midline with the left hand to find purchase on the outside of your right leg or foot. Inhale to sit up nice and tall, stretching the line of your spine and the line of your legs. Exhale to slide and fold forward. Hold once you've reached your maximum slide and reach range. Relax the left arm alongside the body. Reach across the midline for the outside of the left foot or leg. Find a hold. Inhale to sit up nice and tall. Bend your knees. Ground your feet. Keeping your fingertips on the floor, or maybe cupping the back of your thigh. We're going to round out into a cat stretch on the exhale. And then on the inhale, lengthen, stretch through the spine. Give yourself 5 repeats. And in a nice tall seat, hugging your shins gently towards your chest as you nod your chin to chest to end off your practice. Thank you so much for coming out and intensifying with me. Till next time, keep it light.